So today we're going to tie basically a pattern that I hope will work for bonefish. I'm sorry, not bonefish, sheepshead. Um, anyway, I always see a lot of sheepshead in the marsh. Every now and then I'll throw to them, but most of the time I don't even mess with them. It's just because they're so finicky and I'm too concentrated on redfish. With that said, my most recent outing, I saw a lot of sheepshead, and they were bruisers. So I think I did throw at them a couple of times, but usually the flies that I throw are a lot larger, and sometimes they'll spook, and then other times they'll run over towards it, and then they'll turn their nose up at it. I've actually had them run up towards it and stick their mouth to it to the ground like they do, and then turn away. So what I decided to do, I decided I wanted to start throwing to them occasionally. So I think on some outings I'm going to keep a rod rigged up with some type of a sheep's head fly, or a fly that would be better suited for them. So they tend to like the shrimp pattern that I throw for the redfish. I just think it's a lot larger. So sometimes they spook, but a lot of times I just think it's too big for them. So this is basically kind of what we're going to tie today. Um, and it is tied on I believe this is a Gamakatsu size 2. Gamakatsu SC10, I think. I'm not sure. I actually don't have the package here with me. But anyway, it's a size 2. Now, I would prefer to tie this in a size 4, but I don't have a size 4. So I'm hoping this will be small enough for them. I'm not real sure. Again, we'll just have to try it when I'm able to fish again after healing from this back stuff, my back surgery. But anyway, this is a size 2. I would recommend a size 4. That's what I would be using right now if I had size 4 hooks. All right, so I'm going to start off. I'm going to use like a gold or sort of copper thread. You can use whatever you want. These are all going to be tied with natural colors for the most part. You have to excuse me, I've kind of got a mess here on the fly tying desk. Normally I like to clean things up before these, but I didn't do it, so you might see me fumbling around a little bit. So we'll just get a thread base. Now I'm using bead chain eyes because for me, I'm trying to make this fly as small and low profile and as light as possible. Hopefully it'll just cut out some of the spookiness. But all I'm using today, I had mentioned in another live stream about, I buy bead chain eyes, but these are actually, because I'm not trying to spend a lot of money on these flies. I don't know if they're going to work, first of all. I'm sure they'd work for redfish too, but I don't really want to spend a lot of money or waste a lot of material on them. So, but anyway, I'm using bead chain eyes that you basically get from Walmart. If you've ever seen you can go to Walmart and get the what is it? It's like from ceiling fans. I'm looking up at my ceiling fan now. The little, when you pull them to turn on the light. Anyway, you can buy replacements of those at Walmart, and so you can get those and use them as bead chain eyes, and basically get them for pretty cheap. Thing is, they don't have a lot of color. So this is a gold or copper or something like that. But so we'll just do some wraps on this. Make sure this is how situated right, and it seems like it is. Do some figure eights and some over and unders. All right. All right, so the first material that we're going to use, this camera's not focusing. All right, so the first material we're going to use is this fin raccoon crawdad orange, and this is basically what it looks like here. So that's what we're going to use to start off, and it's just going to be like a little hot spot. Now with all of this, I'm using just very little, you can see there, and a lot of that's actually going to be picked out. So just a tiny smidge of that. And this normally has some longer little hairs here. We're going to go ahead and pull those out. And then, like always, just pull out any under fur from the shorter strands. And again, this is just going to be like a very small hot spot, so we're just going to make sure that does not extend too far out, like maybe like that. Cut this excess off. Alright. Next up, we're gonna, and by the way, this pattern here, I mean, it's a, I don't really know what it is. It's kind of like a shrimpy slash crabby pattern, and all of that the sheepshead like. This is the craft fur we're going to use, medium brown craft fur. And this is kind of what it looks like here. Again, with this, we're just doing a very tiny clump. If you see that right there. On a side note, I know this is not too different than the other patterns. I mean, it is going to be a little bit different, especially the materials we use, which you'll see, and then how we cut it. But I do have plans to do something different next week. I actually had hoped to do it this week, but the materials, they should actually be here today. They were supposed to be here yesterday, and they didn't get here. So anyway, we will be doing something different, or a lot different, and I just haven't got the materials in yet. But I've been wanting to tie some of these just to keep in the box, as I said before, just when I'm seeing a bunch of sheepshead, and I want to try to catch some of those. All right, so that's a very small smidge there. What we're going to do, we're going to pull out the fibers that are a lot longer, kind of get them all evened up. And then again, we'll pull out any under fur. Alright, we'll go ahead and tie this in. And this obviously is going to be longer than the orange hotspot. And I'm going to tie this up closer to the head, just to kind of build up a little bulk there. Alright, that's what we have so far. Now next, I thought I had some pulled off here. Where is it at? Like I said, I kind of got, oh, here it is. Kind of got a mess here. Alright, so unlike my redfish flies where I like to have a lot of silly leg, we're not going to do that with this one. We're just going to add one, basically, and it'll be doubled over. So like sort of two little antennae thing. And I've had these for a while. It just matches sort of what look I'm going for. This is from Orvis, hot tipped, silly legs, root beer, and orange. So if you can see, it's kind of brown, black speckles with orange tips. And I actually want the orange tip out. So I'm going to break off basically one of these, and we are going to put the orange out. Go ahead and wrap this forward a little bit, and then so I want to get line this up pretty much kind of where I want it. Normally you have a lot of room just to sort of play with it on getting it, cutting it where you want it, but because I want the orange tip only goes so far, so we're going to make sure that when we line it up, it's pretty much where we want it. Alright, there they both are. Slightly shorter than the tail or horn. I'm just going to clip these. I'm going to unwrap this a little bit. It kind of got a little sideways on me. Alright, there. Alright, wrap this back. We'll cut this excess off. Alright, and next up we have this, we're going to tie in just a little bit of crystal flash. You can see that there, crystal flash gold. And we're going to take basically one strand and we are going to double this over twice. So it'll end up being sort of like 4 antennas right there. So we'll go ahead and tie that in. Get it shifted over right. Alright, so you got this here. And then we will cut this. I'm going to cut this just a little bit shorter than the silly legs. Go ahead and clip this off. Alright, so that's what we got so far. Now for the last part, which is going to be the body. We are going to tie another one of these today, just because I already tied the one, and I normally when I tie something new, I like to have 3 of them in the box. One for me, and one for somebody else if they're working and we're catching sheepshead or whatever on them, and then also just a backup if somebody breaks off. So I normally tie flies in 3s. Unless it's something that I use a lot, then I'll tie a bunch of them. Alright, so this is where the body is going to change what we use. This is from MFC, and it's bunny brush. So it's a very soft, flowy, lightweight fiber, and it's in tan. So what we'll do, I try to pick off some of this fabric here, but that never really comes out that well. So we'll go ahead and tie this in. And again, we want to tie that all the way up to the neck, where the silly legs and all that stuff is. Alright, and then we'll palmer this in there. By the way, I did look that up. I know I'd said it before. Didn't remember what that technique was called. It's called palmering. We'll just wrap this in there. Make sure the fabric or the materials, try to keep it from laying over itself. I never can do that completely. But anyway, you want to work the fabric, I keep saying fabric, the material back. Come in, I lost it. Alright, that should be good. So we'll go ahead and weave our thread through there, lock it down, pull this back. Again, you want to pull all this back here and put you like build you like a little head there to keep that fabric pushed back, that material back. I do not have my bad scissors here. I guess we'll have to use these. All right. And go ahead and got a little head there. And man, I am not prepared at all today. Where's my whip finish tool? Let's see, I may have put it back in here. Yes, I did. Alright. Whip finish tool. And do one more. Alright. Alright, we'll get our little brush here. Kind of comb this out. Make sure we get any loose fibers out. Now, this is where we're going to spend a little bit of time, and that's cutting it. So what I want to do is I'm going to kind of cut this level. With the shank of the hook. And I want to kind of give it a flat profile. Again, just give it a little more of a crabby profile. Alright, then all we're going to do is take this and kind of round off these edges here. Alright. That about does it for that one. Very simple. Let me turn this light down a little bit. Alright, there you have it. Now, obviously we'll finish this off with some super glue. Again, you can use head cement or whatever. I normally just use super glue. Not always, but usually for stuff like this. And I just put a very, like seriously just one drop. And I just kind of work it around in the thread there, and one drop on the bottom. Helps lock those bead chain eyes in too. And doing it this way, I have to admit, I've rarely had issue with the fly as far as it coming apart. So, alright, so we'll take this one out. And I have this little, I have some cork board. I left it at another desk, but I have this little wine cork here, and I normally just hang stuff on there to let it dry. It's kind of hard to tell because that light is just so harsh. But anyway, you get the idea. Alright, we are going to tie another one, so if you want to stick around, that's great for the final cut of the video, that live stream that gets saved to my channel. I'll probably cut it off here, but we're going to go ahead and stick around and tie another one. I see someone commented there, pull chain. Good, thank you. When I'm doing these live streams, I always get tongue-tied. I don't know, maybe I'm nervous or something, who knows. But anyway, thank you. Pull chain. That's what I was talking about earlier, the bead chain eyes that I'm using that I got from Wally World. It's a pull chain for the your fan. Alright, we'll just lay a thread base there. And again, I'm going to tie that bead chain kind of back further off the eye of the hook. Make sure this thing is where it needs to be. Alright, again, a little clump of the fin raccoon and crawdad orange. Just a very small clump, because again, this is just going to be our hot spot. And I'm going to pull out these long little strands there. Again, try to even everything up. And then any shorter under fur that's in here, we'll pull that out. All right. Now for the craft fur and the medium brown. Cut that little piece off. It drives me nuts. All right. Craft fur, medium brown. Small little clump of that. It's a good thing about these flies. They don't use a lot of material. All right, again, small little clump. And we will pull out the longer sections. And any under fur. All right, probably went a little heavy on that hot spot, but hopefully it'll work regardless. And go with our silly legs and root beer with the orange tip. Again, with the orange tip out. Alright, we'll cut just the tips of these off. Once again, I'm going to wrap back on this a little bit, only because this leg's got a little sideways on me. Knocking stuff off. All right, got one a little bit longer than the other one. And last thing before we get to the body, another gold crystal flash. We're going to take one out. Again, we're going to double it over twice. So we'll end up with basically 4 little gold antenna. If this will cooperate with me. All right. Go ahead and tie this in. And we'll cut this short, a little shorter than the silly legs. last but not least, the MFC Bunny Brush in Tan. See if we can pull some of this fiber off the tip. And wrap this all the way. Alright, again, we'll palmer this in there. Working the fabric back. Set it again. The material back, trying to keep it from laying over on top of itself, which I'm not very good at. Alright, work our fabric in there, go ahead and lock that down and pull everything back. Ooh, I do not want to catch that in there. And finish off with a couple whip finishes. We are done, other than the cutting and the glue. All right. I'll go ahead and get my little brush here, make sure. Pull out any of those loose fibers. All right, again, we want to cut this parallel to the shank of the hook. Just give it a little more of a flat, crabby profile. So make sure that you don't cut your silly legs or your little flash. That would be bad. Wouldn't be the end of the world, but alright, now I'm just going to trim kind of around these sides here. you have it. Just finish off with some super glue and we will be done. Drop on each side and work it into the thread.